Okay, while still on the Syria ceremonial sacrifices and rituals are associated with the New Year festival of this year, just as I said earlier that since on the 11th evening the ceremony kicked off and is going to end on the 24th evening. And today is another ritual day. Now, this day, you will see if our video is permitted to go towards where all masquerades are being kept. You see that some clans, some communities, some principal head, staff bearers, princes of separate kingdoms came in with their traditional logo. And when you look at those masquerades, some of them in their form does not mean anything but what it means. And I want to explain it in our culture, how masquerades or whatsoever thing that has to do with a facial image comes into play. Now, in this direction, it is not an idol worshipping. It is not an idol worshipping. It is a symbolical, architectural approach of what our practical culture stands. Okay, now this is designed as the look of Kamanu's face. Now this one you see here looks like as if it's a horn, but he does not have a horn. It's just the hairs of his head that he tied in that nature, standing. So now the depict of this viewer might think it has a horn. It does not have a horn. This is just his hairs he twisted and tied it to stand together as one pillar. Good. We come down to the face. This spiritual master tried to bring out what he saw as a messenger that came to him. That is how the depiction of these images is being visible in our culture. It does not mean that our culture will worship these images. No. But it depicts who you saw and the message he brought to you. And now, if you are propelling that gift of nature that was offered from this being of whatsoever you saw, means that you are exercising the work of the spirits. How? We have 65,000 spirits, masters, lords, staff bearers, authority holders, kings, queens, princes and princesses of kingdoms, lake, rocks, mountain, mighty trees, waters, rivers, oceans, and totaling that are authority bearers is totaling 65,000. So you will understand, if a high prince can be able to identify the spirits, the lords and the masters in their numbers, then you will know what the calling stands for. And in that, we have 21,000 sword masters. We have 21,000 sword masters after the cadre of these gods, which we call God. They are princes and princesses, kings, queens of different kingdoms and authorities. After that cadre comes the 21,000 sword masters. These are masters. What do we mean by sword masters? When we come to the lecture, I will remind you of what I mean today by sword master. And among these 65,000 and 21,000 are bearers of divine principles, messages, laws, and attributes of creation towards the exaltation of mankind into the kingdom of God. And any of them that comes to you will not come like a smoke. It's a human being. It's either by transaction of vision or by dream. Somebody must appear. Who did you see? What name did you tell you is his name? And what message did he bring for you to carry? That is where the Aguishi comes in. So now, this is Aguishi now. The person who designed this elderly man that says, This is the face of whom I saw. Now, when you look at this face, you will see that this face is not the face of a young man. Neither is it the face of an old man. Neither is it the face of a middle man. But looking at the face, you see that the face is as ancient as it could be. And looking at the nature of the eyelids, looking at the nature of the eyebrow, looking at the hairs that grow at the forefront of his hair, you will understand that this being is more or less divine. And he saw such a being who identified himself as the Kamanu. Now, Kamanus are many. Kamanus, Kamanu Ebelu, Kamanu Eche, Kamanu Sirimu, Kamanu Bokwe, Kamanu Nori, Kamanu there, Kamanu there. All of these are all Kamanus, positioned in different communities, in different villages, in different lands, in different waters. Now, in each symbol of rainbow, as many colors as you can see in rainbow is the many Kamanus you can see on earth. Okay, now, he has depicted this out to show us the face. Then if you add a man body to it, you cannot see. We're not talking about the height, we're not talking about the length, we're talking about the face that came. What a glorious face. Now, if you look here, it looks like the hairs that grow from his jaw and beautify him as a noble man, looking at him with white hairs mixed with black hairs all over him. And he looks ancient with rigors of white hairs that have grown in his face. Then you will understand that this person is a human being of an ancient character. If he is a human being of an ancient character, and he said that they have been behind of whatsoever principle of the gospel right from the beginning to the end, will you doubt such a spirit? Now, they draw to us angels and bring to us people that have wings. In our culture, there have never been any image or being or angel or spirit that has ever has a wing that fly like a bird. We are not talking about fairy tales. We are talking reality. So from where did the gospel or did the Bible fashion the idea that an angel can fly like a bird? It does not exist in our culture. In the culture of the Biafran nation, in the culture of the black race, such thing does not exist. Even Jesus Christ that went to heaven, they didn't tell us that he developed wings and fly. Moses that went away, they didn't say he developed wings and fly to the mountains. Elijah, they didn't say he developed wings and fly. So how then did we have angels that fly like birds? And in our culture, it's a taboo. It's a taboo. So I want to tell you that the depiction of the images is not like unto the pagans or like unto they that worship the idol. No, it is a manifestation, a pro-technical, practical manifestation of a vision into physical reality. And now, let me tell you what else that happens in the culture. As this has been figured out, the man who created this saw something, and in his thought, in his idea, in his innermost expression, he is trying to express that power that he saw or that he has encounter with. Now, if he comes, or as a high prince, I look into this image and project into it towards the intent of the man, the priest that created this, and then pass a decree. That image, if it exists anywhere, will appear in that temple and answer me. That is why I am the master of all spirits. That is why I am the high prince. Now, this is how we dictate those that is man-made and those that is of a spiritual character. And now when we kill a meat and this thing is in the temple and we pay a sacrifice, the blood will be sprinkled on it too. That doesn't mean that the blood is sprinkled here that this is what we are worshiping. No, it translates onto what the intention is. That is the mysteries of all mysteries and the citation of all spirits. Citing all spirits. So if you say the Spirit has given you this, if you come before me, I can cite that Spirit from that object that he has given you, be it on an illusionary state or be it on a practical archaeological nature of any kind. Now, some, you come to their altar or to their temple background, they mold the image. They mold it. They did not mold it that image is what they are servicing. No. They mold it in remembrance and in representation of what they saw. Just like when the Catholic priest will go and bring a crucifix and keep. Just like when the Catholic priest will go and bring Mary Magdalene and keep. But the difference between them and our culture is that they don't sprinkle blood upon it, but in our culture, we sprinkle the blood upon it to make it both that it is in the spiritual sense and also that it is in the act of the practical action. So the both ways, our culture handles it. Do you understand? So do not allow the white man philosophy to deceive you, not to understand what the culture and our black religion stands for. Everything you see out there in the churches is a kind of philosophical depiction from our culture. That's what they projected out there. So don't be deceived and try to understand it and come home. Where the power lies is in the tongue, not in the wood, but in the word. I wish you well. Ask us questions. Ask us questions. So those of you who have Agwishi and all that, these are the dreams, the visions you see. You will tell us what do you see. We will know the kind of spirit that you are being tormented with or you are facing. Then we can now know the line of command that will be used to call the attention of the spirit so that he can receive his right and go away. So we can settle and give spirit right anywhere, any deity, anywhere. That is why I'm the high prince. We can give them any right from our temple. And that is why the temple of AMADIOHA must to be performed, where the spiritual ceremonies, the practical ceremonies, and that of the technological sciences performed can be joined together towards the glorification of the exaltation of mankind. Thank you for listening to this lecture today. Thank you for following us up. Continue to follow us as we move on from stage to stage. We will bring you this explanation until the ceremony of the New Year Festival is concluded. But for today, we are at this stage. Every spirit all over the land, kings, princes, their high princes, their native doctors are bringing it down here to receive that general sacrifice of the New Year and they return it back. Now, some of them can call it out of the air. Some of them carry it and transport with it. So some of them come here and invoke it down. It appears. Based, it's not a magic. It is based on the level of energy expression that has been attached to that element. It can make it vanish and return to where its base is. It can make it vanish from there and come where several places being called. So that spirit now, when projected here, can be appearing on air with this face. And when you see this face, you say, ah, it looks like it's a devil. No, that is the practical projection. And that is what the witchcraft want to practice when they now use an image of someone or a baby or a candle image to portray someone. You know, candle is a wax, it can melt, but this cannot melt, it's not a wax. So the act of magic in the culture is more superior than that of the act of magic in the white man cultural theory today known as Christianity. Subscribe with us. You will understand more about how these activities of our cultural black religion goes, so that you will know that that is the basis of all truth, the foundation of all elements, and the bearer of all crime. I wish you well. Easter Youth Network is our platform. Ask us questions, like what we do, and we will reach you back with gratitude. I wish you well. Thank you very much.